So first of all, just to introduce myself for those who don't know me, I'm Danny. I'm the director of BEDE'S Summer School. It's great to be here. I'm at Dicker today, so we're doing this presentation from our senior school. Weather here at Dicker is a little bit cloudy, but we're kind of just turning the corner and the spring weather is about to set in, ready for the summer, which is great. I've got my colleague just beside me, Alicia, who's going to help me with the webinar today. But today's presentation, we're going to talk about our young learner centres. So we've got a couple of centres that we're going to discuss and go through with you. Part of this presentation, we are going to record this presentation as well. So if any of you would like for us not to record it, let us know and actually we can stop recording. It's not a problem. Also, we've got an element at the end of this for questions. So if you have any questions, you're welcome to either put them in the chat or just wait until the end and we'll happily answer any questions you've got. So what I'll crack on with the presentation then. So as I say, today we're looking at our two locations for our young centres, which is our Eastbourne location and our Windlesham location, both of which are beautiful centres set in the south of England. With Eastbourne, we run our Little Explorers programme for 6 to 11 years old. Can we just go back?
Yes, sorry.
And then Windlesham, we run our Future Explorers programme, which is for 8 to 13-year-olds, and our Bear Grylls Adventure Camp, which is brand new for this year, which is for the 8 to 13-year-olds as well. Now, last year, we're on a normal year at BEDE'S, we have around 1,500 students actually attending our summer school. So we get students from all around the world, which is great. I think last year we had 58 different nationalities attending BEDE'S. So, we're quite we're quite strong in the summer school market. We've been running for 34 years now. I've been part of BEDE'S team for, I think it's about 13 years or so in total. So quite a long time actually. And in total, although we're discussing our young learner programs today, we run centres for 6 years old all the way through to 20-year-old. As well, and we have dedicated teams to work with each of those age groups. So what I'll do, I'll crack on with the next slide. So with all of our summer schools, this year we've changed it as well slightly. So we actually offer day programs at all of our schools this year. So previously we've normally offered a day program just in Eastbourne. But actually, we're extending that to all of our programs, which is great because there's no reason that we don't offer that actually. So we've included that for this year. As part of our Eastbourne program, we actually have a parent program as well. So that's where parents can sign up and have 10 hours of English lessons. And on top of that, they have a social program, which we put together for the parents. So it's quite nice. And it works really well for the Eastbourne Centre. Because the students are a lot younger, then parents aren't, some parents aren't quite ready for them to be residential, so they want to come over with their children. And of course, that means that they can actually have English lessons and a social program with that. The only thing, just to pick up on the parent program, is if parents do want to enroll on that program, they would sort out their own accommodation, but we would give some recommendations to where they could stay. But from a student perspective, it can be day program or residential program as well. Lovely. Sorry? Okay, so as you can see, these are our two locations. Our Little Explorers program based in Eastbourne. So when we've got our Little Explorers program, Eastbourne is a beautiful location set at the bottom of the South Downs, right on the beach in Eastbourne. So it couldn't be better in terms of location. With our Little Explorers program, we have 17.5 hours of tuition per week. And again, with BEDE'S, we aren't just a summer school, we're a year-round boarding school as well. And that gives us great strength, actually, because if it means that we as a head office team, we don't just have the summer school team, we have a bigger team behind us, whether it be director of safeguarding, transport managers, health and safety managers. But as I say, with BEDE'S, because we're a boarding school, we actually we own 2 of our locations as well, which is a big bonus. Eastbourne, which is one of our year-round locations, is a fantastic centre. From a boarding perspective, has been running for 130 years. So it celebrated its 130-year anniversary this year. And as I say, it's beautiful. We get out onto the beach as much as we can. Eastbourne is known as a sunshine coast as well. So in England, it gets the most hours of sunshine compared to anywhere else in the UK, which is great. Windlesham, which is our second campus, which I'm talking to you about today, is again one of the oldest, I think the oldest prep school in England, founded in 1837. And again, on this programme, we go up in terms of tuition. So in Eastbourne, we have 17.5 hours of tuition. At Windlesham, on our Future Explorers programme, we have 18.5 hours of tuition. And again, we've got a couple of different programmes available at Windlesham, Future Explorers and the Bear Grylls Adventure Camp as well. So with all of our programmes, there are 3 different types of lessons. So we're very strong in terms of our academics. Alicia, who's sitting beside me, focuses her time on creating a wonderful academic programme that is at the right level for the students. So with each of our programmes, we have 3 different lesson types. And I'll talk to you kind of what those lesson types look like on the next screen. But on top of that, we have a wonderful activities and social programme and an excursion programme, and it's all built into the course, and it's all tailored for the age range of students that we have attending that particular course. So with our sports and activities programme, we have in regions of 7 or 8 different activities running daily for students to choose from. And again, what we do, we make sure it's a mixture of sports, arts and crafts and drama, because as we know, not all students particularly, want to do sports. We make sure it's a good mix for everyone. And that means that they can sign up every day to something that they really enjoy. And then again, with our excursions, we have a full day excursion to Saturday, and this is for all of our programs. Full day trip on Saturday to London. And then included in that trip, we make sure there is something that is booked for the students. So depending on the age range, it depends on what we book. For the younger students, it can be things like Paddington's World or Shrek's Adventure. It could be the Sea Life Centre. But again, what we do with our excursions, we make sure it's on a 3-year cycle. So if students actually want to attend the same camp the next year, they're not experiencing the same type of excursion, which is really, really important because we want to give them as much exposure to kind of all the elements that London has actually. So on top of a pre-booked trip, we make sure that they see the sights of London. So Buckingham Palace, Big Ben, the crucial bits where they can get their photographs taken. And then on top of that, we make sure that they have a little bit of time to buy their souvenirs for them to take sort of them home or for themselves. On Sunday, we have another full-day trip. And again, as I mentioned, all these trips are tailored for the age range of students. So that will be a full-day trip. It could be to Brighton, it could be to Hastings. Hastings have a pirate day normally in the summer, so we look to attend the pirate day, which the students really enjoy. But again, we pre-book something, give them time to explore, and again, time to buy souvenirs if they so wish. And then finally, we have a half-day trip on a Wednesday. Now, what this trip is, it's a way to break up the week for the students, to give them time to sort of burn off some energy away from the centre. And for these type of trips, it can be things like Knockhatch Adventure Park, Drusilla's, which is a place where there's rides for the students to go on, animals for them to see, but it's perfect for the age range of students that I'm sort of talking to you about today. Perfect. So with our Little Explorers programme, this first screen is just talking about the academic elements that are involved in our Little Explorers programme. So first of all, we have English skills lessons. So we have 2 English skills lessons every morning. And then we have a story time lesson and an explorations-based lesson. Now, the difference between them all, English skills focuses on students reading, writing, speaking, listening. So they're core elements. Story time is where a teacher will select a story each week, and it can be things like The Gruffalo, Room on a Broom, Going on a Bear Hunt. And I think last year we had a teacher, as an example, who done Going on a Bear Hunt, and she took the class outside, and it's sort of learning through them, that exploring element, because when the students are young, what we don't want them to do is just be sat in front of a teacher all day. They need to get outside, they need to explore. That is the best way for young learners to actually learn, through that sort of, you know, touching and feeling. So as I mentioned, with story time, the teacher took them outside, they went on a bear hunt, they would go over things, they would go under things, they would go through things, but using kind of the language for that story. And it's great because, as I say, the students are immersed. They're not just sitting there, they're completely kind of following the teacher's guidance. And it's great. You know, what better way to learn than being outside in the beautiful location of Eastbourne. And then finally, the last lesson that we have is our explorations lesson. So our explorations lesson is a CLIL-based lesson, which is a content language integrated learning lesson. What that means is learning through a subject. So subjects can be things like science, it can be history, geography. But again, what we try to do is very much trying to get the students outside of the classroom, learning through that, exploring. It's, you know, as I kind of mentioned, students will kind of switch off very quickly when they're young if they're sat in a classroom. So we get them outside where we can as well. We take them to do beach school, because, you know, again, we've got a great location in Eastbourne where we can go to the beach and we can use that as part of our facility. So it's a really fabulous lesson. It's about the students being creative as well. It's not just sitting there listening to a teacher talk. Moving on to kind of our Future Explorers program. So we still have our English skills lessons. We still have our explorations lesson, but here we've got a brand new lesson type called Mission Possible. Now, if you can see, Mission Possible is based on the film Mission Impossible, for those of you that know kind of the Tom Cruise film. The idea is the students at the start of the week are given a topic to do, which they believe is impossible, and they work together as a class on this topic. So at the start of the week, they think this lesson is impossible, but each day they're given targets to hit until they get to the end of the week, where they realize what they thought was impossible actually is possible. Now, the thing that is really crucial with this lesson, and thing that I'm sort of very passionate about, is, as you know, you'll get some students in class that are very, very loud and will want to take control of the class. You'll get some students that sit in the middle, and some students that are just very, very quiet, that, you know, don't want to put their hand up or get involved too much. The idea of this lesson is for every student to be a lead within the lesson, to have a voice. And that means that only by when they get to the end of the week, where they realize they've completed Mission Possible, as a group and as a class, they realize they've got to Mission Possible by every single student playing a part to get there, which is really crucial, because, as I say, it's very easy for some students to be quiet, not to be involved, and the other sort of more dominant students in class to take control. This gives those students who are a little bit more quiet the confidence to speak and sort of realize that actually they've completed this task because of they've had a voice and been involved. So it's a really beautiful lesson that that we've had created for this year, and that's our brand new Mission Possible lesson on our Future Explorers program. So in terms of the afternoon, I mentioned the activities that we run. So in the afternoons, we are a multi-activity camp on our Future Explorers program and our Little Explorers program. This means, as I mentioned, we have 7 or 8 different activities running every day that students can participate in, and there's a lot for them to do. There's something for all students. If students maybe want a more tailored course to their interests, they can actually sign up to do one of the academies. Now, as you'll see, Eastbourne has a number of academies showing there, and Windlesham has also some academies. These are optional. These aren't, these don't necessarily mean that they have to sign up for them. These are just there if they would like to have a more sort of tailored and bespoke experience. Eastbourne, you can see we run things like film and animation, Lego and coding, horse riding, indoor climbing, swimming, tennis, and zookeeper experience. Usually, I would say the academies that are the most popular, that always sell out very quickly, are horse riding and tennis, and zookeeper experience is actually very popular in Eastbourne. And that's across both centres. This year, we've actually incorporated conversation confidence into Windlesham as well. And I think e-kart racing is new into Windlesham this year as well. So there's lots of opportunities for students to tailor the course to kind of their specific interests, which is great. And just going back slightly into the Eastbourne sort of category, in Eastbourne, to assist the younger students, we run a number of other elements as well that occur in Eastbourne. One of which is we have a BEDE'S Holiday Club. Now, what BEDE'S Holiday Club is, it's an activity camp for local children. But what we do in the afternoons, we integrate our summer school students with those local children during the activities and during break time. And that's great because it means that the students will be able to interact with the local children, and they'll be utilising the English language sort of more in real life situations as well. On top of that, we have a brand new student ambassadors that we've implemented for this year. Student ambassadors are students who are enrolled to the prep school year round, who have been valued students, well, all students are valued, but have kind of held the BEDE'S ethos throughout the year and shown themselves to be very responsible students. So they have been selected by the prep school and us to be BEDE'S ambassadors. They will be like a mini teaching assistant within the classroom. So they will assist the teacher, and they will sit within the classroom with the international students as well. And they will assist in terms of the communication between the students and have that, again, real life sort of experience with speaking to a native speaker as well. So, and it's great for our BEDE'S students to be awarded this, because they're going to feel very privileged to be selected to be that sort of student ambassador. So that's brand new for this year, and again, is quite exciting for us and quite exciting for the students as well. Okay, so I've talked a little bit about sort of our Little Explorers program and our Future Explorers program. We also run our Bear Grylls Adventure Camp. So Bear Grylls Adventure Camp is slightly different to our Little Explorers and our Future Explorers program. So it runs the same age range as Windlesham and Future Explorers program. So this is for 8 to 13-year-olds. So Bear Grylls, and I don't know if any of you know Bear Grylls, it's a 50-50 with Bear Grylls. Some people know him, some people have no clue who he is. But for those of you, if you type his details into Netflix, I'm sure it'll come up with lots of documentaries that that are about him. So Bear Grylls is a survival expert. He's worked with lots of top A-list celebrities, Barack Obama, I think Roger Federer, you know, big celebrities. Anyway, he has teamed up with BEDE'S exclusively to run this Bear Grylls Adventure Camp, which is great. What the program is, the students who enroll on this program still have their English skills lessons in the morning. They still have that great Mission Possible lesson as well. But then the rest of the day is completely Adventure Camp focused, which means that the students don't do the multi-activity element of the camp. They're just doing the adventure parts of the camp. Now, one of the key things with this program is this isn't just a branding exercise and we've got Bear Grylls and we've put his stamp on it. We're actually, Bear Grylls is sending his team to lead this Bear Grylls camp. And we were with the team, I think last week, wasn't it? Over in Windlesham, sort of making sure the facilities were sort of up to scratch and what it should actually be like and what they're going to sort of organise. So this program, the students will do things like orienteering, they'll do fire lighting, camp building, first aid. It's very much outside in nature, giving the students an opportunity to do something that maybe they've not had the opportunity to do, before. Even with my kids, the whole world has changed slightly since, phones and technology. Children get back and some, can be very young and they've got phones and all they want to do is speak to their friends through their sort of phones and things like this. With obviously BEDE'S, that's not how we operate. This is giving them the opportunity to get outside, do kind of something that maybe they've never had the opportunity to do before, in a very kind of safe, secure setting as well. So as I say, with this program, they have 12.5 hours of English lessons, but the rest of the day is completely adventure camp focused. And as I say, it's in a very secure location, very high caliber staff leading this with the Bear Grylls team as well. So we're very lucky and privileged that Bear has teamed up with BEDE'S for this program. And we're very excited to operate this at Windlesham. So, okay, some strong points, obviously, with BEDE'S. As I mentioned, we're not just a summer school; we're a year-round boarding school as well. So the management structure is kind of quite set, actually, with all of our schools. You know what we do when it comes to the summer. We have a centre director. We have an academic manager, we have a welfare manager, we have an activities manager, and then we have an admissions team at each of the sites. On top of that, we have nurses available. Again, this is a strength of being a boarding school as well. It means that we have nurses who work here at BEDE'S who oversee kind of the nursing provision for the summer school as well. And actually, again, with BEDE'S, we get a number of our year-round teachers who are involved in the delivery of our summer school programs as well. So at our prep school and at our senior school as well. And the other strength as well with BEDE'S is that with our staff that we bring in for the summer, this year, I think our returning rate of staff is around 73%. Now that is incredibly high for a summer school provision. I would say if a summer school were to get sort of 50–55%, they're doing pretty well. For us to have 73% is quite outstanding. That also says something about how we treat staff, but the quality of provision that we put on as well, because if they want to come back, some have probably worked at other schools that have worked with us, and they want to keep returning to BEDE'S as well. So with our management team, I think this year, our actual return rate for managers, I think, is about 80%. So our management returning rate is incredible as well. Food is, of course, incredibly important to students and parents. Now, with BEDE'S at our Eastbourne site and with our Windlesham site, they operate with Holroyd Howe, who again we use as a trust, who cater for all dietary requirements. We make sure the food provision is thought about prior to the summer as well. So we make sure we get the menus for the students, and then we can tailor the menus to what would work for our kind of international community. Holroyd Howe are actually an award-winning catering company as well. So the food that they put on is incredible. We make sure there's kind of a meat option, a vegetarian option, salad bar, a fruit stand, a dessert stand. So honestly, the food here is fabulous. I mentioned our kind of medical provision already, but again, before staff work with BEDE'S, we put a number of them through first aid training as well, whether it be 1 day or the 3-day first aid training. And then on top of that, we're supported by our clinical nurses as well. And then, of course, our academic excellence programs. And it's paramount to everything that we do, our academic program, which is why my colleague Alicia works on our academic program year round to make sure that we're kind of staying ahead of the game and providing the right level of academics to the students, and that kind of unrivaled by other summer schools. So again, with the way that we kind of work, we have a very kind of seamless booking procedure. We have a great admissions team here at BEDE'S, and I'm sure a number of you will know kind of the admissions team with Neil and Tracy, who are probably, you know, some of the best admissions staff that I think you are likely to ever find. They're responsive, they're very good in terms of the detail that they give you, and it's that sort of pre-booking to sort of post-booking element as well. They give you kind of the care and the time as well, because that's important. It isn't just sort of a quick email back. if you need time, they give you time to explain kind of what would maybe be the right course for your students as well. So again, with BEDE'S, we have that 24-hour, 7-day-a-week supervision. We have staff living on site. We have a 24-hour emergency phone, which one of our head office team will have throughout the summer. And we want to make it basically a seamless and such an enjoyable experience for the students, because at the end of the day, it could be just this one experience that a student has, to go away on a summer school program. So we want to make sure that every student feels like a celebrity with us, and what we like to offer is this celebrity service. It doesn't matter who the student is or who the agent is. We want to make sure they feel like a celebrity, and it's kind of a program that's built around them. So when the students go, it's important for us that they go with really kind of happy memories, that they've had such a wonderful experience with BEDE'S. And generally, it is great when you see students depart BEDE'S. They can be upset because they've had such a wonderful time with us. And that means we've done actually a great job, and the team has done a great job at the centres. So for those of you that don't know, and I know some of you already use this, but we do have an agency portal as well. So as part of our sort of systems, we're quite advanced with the way we work with our agents. Essentially, if you're not working with us already, we give you an agent's profile form to fill in, and we send out for a couple of references. Once those references have come back, we then give you an agreement, and you can work with us in two different ways. You can either send registration forms through directly, or you can use the agency portal, and there's training elements regarding that as well. So if you're not using the agency portal, which is fine because you're not sure how to, not an issue, we can organise sort of separate training in terms of what that looks like. But it's a great system. It gives you complete visibility as well in terms of your students, and all the information that you can see is basically all the information that we can see as well. I think that's everything at the moment on the Eastbourne and Windlesham programmes. Any questions based on anything there? No?
All very clear. Thank you so much, Danny. Very clear.
Lovely. Thank you, Pepper. I appreciate that. But it's honestly, any questions, or sometimes, if people don't want to ask questions in this sort of setting and you want to email me separately, that's absolutely fine. It's not an issue at all. If I haven't picked up on sort of something, again, do let me know, because of what I want you to go away with is going, I understand sort of the program, how it works. So do just honestly let me know. If it's just a logistical question, whether it be, when do students arrive? How do they arrive? Where do they go? Our normal kind of student arrival day would be a Sunday, and then students would depart if it's a 2-week or long program on a Saturday. And students, if they're arriving for 1 week, they would arrive on a Sunday and then would depart on a Sunday. Okay, I've got some questions, which is great. I'll start. Pepper.
Yes, I was just wondering, when do you think the program for excursions will be ready for, for this coming summer?
Great, it's done. So we've just had actually Alicia has just finished the excursion schedules. So to be honest, we had them as an Excel format, but I don't like to send Excel formats out to our kind of partners. So it's actually been done now, and they're ready to send out, so I can email those across to you straight after this, actually.
Great, thank you very much.
Was there one, Carolina?
Yes, I don't know if you can see me now. Thank you very much for your webinar. It's been very useful. Just a quick question regarding the same topic, the excursions. We happen to have one student, which would be a day student in Eastbourne this year through our agency. And I was just wondering if for the day students, they are included in the excursions, or they do not. How does it work for them?
Not on the weekend excursions. They go on the midweek excursion. If they want, they can sign up to the weekend excursion, but there would be a supplement price for that, which we can email you afterwards. So normally it's Monday to Friday for a day booking, but they do get the midweek excursion, half-day excursion on that one. If they want to sign up for the weekend excursions, they can do, which is absolutely fine, but it would just be a separate sort of price that is given to you for that one.
Understood.
In terms of just a couple of other logistical bits, which I think is always good to know, things regarding transfers. So obviously included in our course fees are transfers to and from the airports. Those airports included in that are Heathrow, Gatwick, London City, or St Pancras train station. Now we obviously like students to arrive within a kind of a nice window, but we do pick up outside of that window essentially as well, because we don't want to leave a student anywhere sort of unattended at any point. We have staff available at the airports as well, and we have a fleet of minibuses, which again is a strength of being a boarding school, because of being picked up in a BEDE'S minibus is great, because it just shows again a level of professionalism, and it's not just lots of kind of random taxis. So again, it's this kind of little thing that actually builds to a greater sort of experience, I would say, for the students. Any other questions? Alicia, have I missed anything? No. I think that's it. But as I say, if you've got any more questions, I'm happy to answer any if you've got them now, or if you want to email me in the next sort of, well, today or tomorrow, whenever you like. Okay, perfect. I shall leave it there. That was great, and hopefully you found that sort of good and sort of informative. But anyway, I will hopefully look forward to seeing you in the summer. But thank you for today. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.